Welcome back, everybody, to Goodwill Podcasting with Dan and Stone, your movie podcast that today is talking about new releases. This past weekend, we had two anticipated movies by certain fans come out, much anticipated movies, and very different. And that was F1 and M3GAN 2.0. That's right, the bitch is back. Not my words, that was the words of the marketing. M3GAN is just fine. That's what she calls herself. Anyways. But along with that today, Dan, it is halfway, almost. It'll be halfway in T-minus, I guess, 1 or 2 days, halfway through the year. And I texted you earlier, and I thought it'd be a good idea. Both of us have watched around 50 films this year so far. And I thought it'd be a good idea to talk about the new releases of the year, our top 10, but then also maybe some underrated films that we've seen thus far that we can recommend to people. But speaking of new, we have a new addition to Goodwill Podcasting today. Dan, is the new edition near you at all?
The new edition is upstairs, zonked out, sleeping. But I got a new puppy. Okay. Her name is Thelma. She is a lab, I think pit bull mix. She's 3 months old, so Watson is adjusting to having another dog here. It's very exciting, but she will make an appearance when she's more functional soon.
How did she come to be yours? Because you weren't like texting me and Connor and saying like, guys, I'm still looking for like, what happened?
So we were like considering getting another dog like for a while, and then we went to DC to visit my girlfriend's brother and his wife. And yesterday we just kind of went to this event where they had a bunch of dogs up for adoption. We're not really planning in DC. We're not really planning on getting a dog, but found one that we really liked and just kind of went for it. So the rest of that trip turned into just watching a puppy. But yeah, it was fun. She seems good. So Watson will have a friend here.
So me and Leo were just talking about it. When we got our second dog, our golden retriever, like 15 minutes beforehand, we were at a coffee shop. I was sitting her down. I was like, Leah, now look at us. We're a team here. We've got to save and like prioritize like spending our money wisely. Like no big purchases, nothing anytime soon. Now it wasn't no adoption event. No, this was a pet store purchase. Now what convinced me, the same pet store that I got my first dog from, but what convinced me is this guy was 50% off. Have I ever told you how I got Otis?
Mm-mm.
Basically, some young kid, like 18 years old, went into this pet store, bought it, which they fresh off the like line there, they're like $5,000, a lot of money, which is wild. But I guess the teen brought the Otis home and he started having like bloody diarrhea on his bed. Basically thought the dog was broken, brought him back the next day and said, hey, I want a refund. And they go, you know what, kid, sorry about it. But we don't do refunds. We only can do 50% refund. That's our policy here. We hope you don't give them up, but that's our policy. And he goes, okay, if you don't give me my full money, I'm going to drop them on the side of the road. And they're basically like, all right, we don't want that. We'll give you your full money, dude. And I think they put him on like a blacklist to like never come in again and purchase a dog, something like that.
That's insane.
So because he was returned though, we got him for 50% off, which was nice.
Wait, so what was wrong with him? Did you find out what was wrong with him? Or
he's just a young dog. He was fine. After I think maybe one time he had some bloody stool and that was it.
Gotcha. That person was real piece of shit. Damn.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't have a dog right now or never get a dog. Hopefully a dog bites them. That's mean, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say
it. A little nip.
Now I got something new as well for Goodwill Podcasting for my background here for people who watch on YouTube, or I guess you can watch on Spotify and stuff now too. This is Mr. Toad.
Very nice.
Yeah, this is my go-to in Mario Kart. Always been my go-to in Mario Kart. It's funny, I actually wanted a stuffed Toad for a while. I wanted a stuffed Toad to be right there. Look at that guy.
He looks a little bit far away. He needs some like lighting on him or something, like a spotlight.
You want me to put a spotlight right on him? Wait, hold on. I can turn on my Christmas tree.
That's
okay. Perfect. Anyways, I've looked for one before. And the only place I really went is Target had like some Mario Kart stuff, Mario stuff, and then I went to Best Buy, and they didn't have really anything I liked either. But they're literally opening Epic Universe here, or they have opened Epic Universe, which has like a Super Mario World section of it. So me and my wife haven't gone there yet because it's hot as fuck here.
It's
and
crazy.
I do not.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's insane. So we can't go to a park. But because they're opening Epic Universe, they have now added those little worlds that they have there, which is How to Train Your Dragon, Super Mario World, Dark Universe with Frankenstein, Werewolf, or Wolfman, all that stuff. And then the last one is like a Fantastic Beast section, which I thought was no. It's the Ministry of Magic is what it is. Anyways,
Gotcha.
they've opened up little stores of those sections in the Universal City Walk, which is free to go to. So we walked down there, and I was like, let me pop into this Mario store real quick, and saw that guy. We walked around for 3 more hours, and then we walked out.
Is that like a $50 Toad, or?
How much was Toad? No, he was probably like 35.
Okay, it's value.
Not bad. But I think the room is done. We're gonna get some hats back there. We got Michigan, Miami Heat, and Detroit Tigers back there. But
the Heat hat is nice. That you were wearing that the other night, right?
Appreciate that. I was. This is the AMC 3 movies a week, which is now a lie because it's 4 movies a week. So this hat is a part of history.
Yeah, it's a little nostalgic piece now.
Yeah, speaking of nostalgia, Dan, what are the top 10 times this year where you watched a movie, right? And you're like, man, this is a good one. This is up there. How do you want to do this? How do you want to do this? You want to go like my 10, your 10, my 9, your 9, or you want to give your 10?
Yeah,
like, how do
let's
you
alternate.
think?
That's fine. Let's alternate.
All right.
We might have overlap.
Number 10.
It doesn't matter. It's fine.
Ooh, this is gonna be fun. All right. Number 10.
Am I going first?
Yeah. And I guess you can give like a little, like, this is why I like this movie.
Yeah, so at 10, and I don't have this quite all planned out, but at 10, I'm going to go Hallow Road. This is a movie I saw at South by Southwest with Rosamund Pike and Matthew Rhys. Really small movie. Basically all takes place in a car. It was directed by Babak Anvari, who is doing... He has some big project he's working on. I want to say it's the Cloverfield. He's doing the next Cloverfield movie. Really talented, younger British Iranian director. And yeah, basically it's this movie about 2 parents get a call in the middle of the night from their daughter. She's been in a terrible accident. She was maybe intoxicated. And you're kind of going with them on the journey in the car to investigate what happened. She's in the middle of these like woods. Really tight, claustrophobic, upsetting, sometimes darkly funny movie. And Rosamund Pike is just, I think she's spectacular in this. And it takes a turn towards the end. I don't really want to spoil, but it makes it far more interesting and fun. And it's a really poignant movie too, that kind of puts you into their shoes. And the parents are kind of have different attitudes towards this event and how to handle it. And they're kind of like almost arguing with each other as they go. Really good. I'd recommend it. It's called Hallow Road.
I don't know if you knew this or not. So I looked it up because you saw this at South by Southwest distribution. So it looks like it was picked up by XYZ Films, and it's going to be released in the United States, and it looks like a fall release. So it's coming out later this year.
Yeah, and I'll be definitely going to bat for that because it's really good.
Nice.
Yeah, it's my 10.
You're going to have like these underground picks because you went to South by Southwest, which is cool. It's cool.
Only a couple, but yeah, definitely a couple in here.
All right. My number 10, Ballerina.
Nice.
Ballerina was solid.
Yeah.
I liked Ana de Armas. I thought the action was John Wick. You just got to be simple, man. Just make it inventive, make it good, make as much of it practical as you can. Had some really good comedy in it. I thought the story was very interesting as well, putting these 2 kind of dark societies against each other who kind of carry out these crimes in similar ways, and throwing that in our main character's face and saying like, what's the difference between us and you? I think is one of the most thought-provoking movies that has been in the John Wick franchise, much more than you kill my dog, I'm gonna fuck you up. There wasn't a whole lot to think about in that one.
Yeah.
Just You just understood his motives. But yeah, dude, we thought that movie was not going to be good.
Yeah, no, honestly, so much of the feeling around it was like self-inflicted. Like it was how Lionsgate was treating the movie, just did not inspire confidence in me. But I was just thinking today, and this is a tangent, but I was thinking of making a video because this month, in my opinion, was fucking rough. Like this month of movies, what I watched was really rough, and Ballerina was one of the highlights of June. Easily a top 2 or 3 movie of the month for me. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I'm glad. I wish it made more money, man. But at least it got made in the first place. We'll see if Donnie Yen's his character's name's Kane. We'll see if the Kane spinoff comes to light. I know for sure they're gonna go back to at least John Wick 5. They're gonna go back to Old Faithful.
Yeah.
Even if Keanu's like he's got to be in his mid-50s now. He's probably.
Yeah, he could be. Hold, please.
All right, we're holding.
He is 60 years old. Yeah.
Damn.
About to
turn.
See,
I said mid-55. He's a good-looking man for his age, man.
Yeah, he looks great. I mean, he takes care of himself. But yeah, about to turn 61, September 2nd.
All right. Number 9. What is the real pick of the 2025 draft, halfway draft?
This is hard. There's like 4 movies in this area that like I could interchange. I think at 9 I'll put Black Bag. I think Black Bag was.
I still haven't watched that, man.
Yeah. I didn't really promote it. I'm not. Michael Fassbender is just
Yeah.
I don't feel good about really promoting his shit. But it is a good movie. Steven Soderbergh. It's funny because I had just watched Presence, which I fucking hated. I think that was one of the worst movies of the year. And this thing is just, I mean, it's just Cate Blanchett and Fassbender together were excellent. I like the way the story was written. It's very tight and like sort of how you might expect, but there are plenty of twists and turns that keep it interesting, and you're kind of unsure about their dynamic and who they each are. And it's pretty funny. Also, Renee Jean Page, the Bridgerton.
Yeah, from Bridgerton, yeah.
Yeah, he was in it. He's solid. Pierce Brosnan, Naomi Harris, who keeps popping up and keeps doing really well. I like her a lot. She was just in Sorry Baby, which I think is it's really good.
I gotta watch it. When you put out your review for that, I was like, is it near me yet? Not yet.
I messed that up. It's not coming out till. So Wikipedia says it released this weekend. It doesn't. It releases like a month from today. It releases in July. So I don't know why Wikipedia was, but I fucked that up.
Okay.
But yeah, Black Bag is just a really solid, fun movie, and I didn't really get watched by many people. But
did you see who's going to be the star? I know. No, you don't have Netflix, but have you seen people's clips about who's going to be the star, maybe of David Fincher's U.S. version?
No, hopefully no one.
Who pops up at the end of this, like the final season that just ended, was Cate Blanchett.
Oh fuck! Damn.
Which honestly, I think she would be really good in a David Fincher directed. Because has she? I don't think she's been in a David Fincher film. Wait, no, yes, she has. She's been in fucking Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Yeah. But I mean,
I'm a dumbass.
I mean, that's not what you think about when you think about Fincher. I don't think it's a great movie, but that's interesting. I mean, I have my feelings on that are the fact that Netflix is now going to be like, all right, for all the people that won't read subtitles, first of all, goodbye to the original creator, and then hello to David Fincher, who we've just snatched out of the world and any type of real creativity. The
Social Network too.
I just don't care about that. I don't know. But I mean, Kate's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Kate Blanchett, I mean, I think she's one of the better actors of like the 21st century. Named her kid after Roman Polanski, which just is the only thing about her. I'm like, why would you do that? Like, why would you name your child after that man?
Bro, I wish you could forget stuff. Because you mentioned
that's just so crazy. Like, she said it so casually, and she was in an interview.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, Roman after Polanski." It's like, have you read the news? Like, it's just
No.
it's just like a
I'm glad you
detached
remember this stuff.
mindset.
I'm glad you remember this stuff, but like 3 times in a row, you're like, I like this, but shit. I like this. Shit, man. Shit. I'm like, man, I wish you
Just
were like
weird.
me. And
Like
yeah.
looking at your kid and being like, I don't know. They're in another world though. Artists are just not
Yes, very
operating on
much
the
so.
same. Yeah.
Saw them all get on Jeff Bezos's boats to get to his wedding. So
I didn't look at any of that shit. I didn't want to get mad.
yeah, give yourself a break. You're gonna be happy though. Let's turn a leaf here, turn the page with my 9th pick. Friendship.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad
Um,
people mostly enjoyed it. I think it's
you
really
gotta
fun.
like Tim Robinson.
Yeah.
It's very much Tim Robinson coded. With his, if you like his Netflix show or just the clips seeing on, TikTok that have gone around. I think the most viral thing probably from him is the 55 burger joke. I do like the paid forward. Like, you have to pay for me. I paid for you. Oh no, that's the same fucking bit. I'm
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
That's why he ordered it. But yeah, lots of funny bits. Sometimes it makes it feel a little bit incohesive in my opinion. But then also, I told you, Tim Robinson, he screams a lot, like he yells, and he has a funny yell. Sometimes it just gets a little bit too much for me. I will say though, as someone who had worked at the establishment before, and I feel like many people, other people have, this had the most random joke. This really isn't a spoiler. Had a most random joke about Subway, and I thought it was the funniest, most out of pocket thing anyone could think of, and it's great. I thought the Subway bit was hilarious.
It's really funny. I'm also realizing that was not technically a 2025 movie. So I've been going through this
Oh.
without considering Friendship. So you know what? I'm going to keep going through this. Everyone knows I love Friendship. I'm going to just do this without that, but it's not technically 2025.
See, that's why you got to make a list, man. That's why you got to make a list. Letterboxd doesn't know this.
You're right. My type B self is not. Fuck, there's another one that I forgot. Got it.
Yeah, and you know all those real takers, those people, with the beef you were just in, all those we stand with real takes, they be all up in your list, being like, bro, he's the G, man. He's got Friendship at number 1.
Because I forgot The Life of Chuck was last year too.
I've got that in my top 10.
Okay, well, I guess you know what. I'll drop a couple things out here and adjust for
the 2 that you've mentioned so far, forget them. Forget about them.
No,
you could just say the life. I mean, let's just say this. We'll leave it out, but I'm going to talk about Life of Chuck when I bring it up. We can talk about Life of Chuck a little.
Okay, yeah, and you already talked about Friendship. Yeah, that's
exactly. All right, 8.
I think at 8 I would put Mickey 17.
Ooh.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I know a lot of people didn't like it, and it's one where and same with Friendship, where if you told me it doesn't work for you, I get it. I think it's very much a sense of humor thing there as well. But I found it to be very funny. I liked everything Robert Pattinson was doing. I thought Naomi Ackie was really good. Stephen Yeun, I kind of expected to see a little bit more of.
Big letdown for me, that movie.
Yeah, I thought Tony was awesome, and I liked what Mark Ruffalo was doing. I thought it was generally funny, and also, I thought the emotional stuff towards the end of that and what the movie had to say also really worked outside of the comedy. I thought it was effective. I mean, I know it's not for everyone. Totally get it, but I liked it a lot.
Dude, I'm becoming such a big fan of Naomi Ackie. Like, I when I saw that she was in Sorry Baby, I was like, good for her. Because the first time I saw her was Blink Twice, and then she's in Mickey 17, and then she's in Sorry Baby. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
You're doing good for yourself. I will say that. She's a great actress. She's the best part of Blink Twice for me.
Yeah. I thought she was great. I mean, that movie was pretty tough. But yeah, I think she's awesome.
Speaking of pretty tough, my number 8, Bring Her Back. I like something I think I still stand by this, and I kind of had this thought even when I saw their first movie. But I think the Filippo brothers are the best at gore and making it feel real and like hurts. Because you can get kind of ridiculous where you don't feel the pain of the person that's going through whatever is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Something they're doing. I mean, I rewatched Talk to Me before I watched this movie, and there's that scene with the kid he just like smashing his face like over and over again. It's so brutal to look at, and I think it's because they're not too over the top when it comes to like the blood and anything like that. But the sound design's just so good, and there's a lot of it in Bring Her Back as well. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty powerful story that maybe was kind of controversial to some people. I thought that Sally Hawkins was exceptional in it. I think Sally Hawkins is a fantastic actress. And even though she is doing, I would say, immoral things in this film, you don't necessarily ever feel bad for her, I would say, but you understand her, which I think is important. And you see how much grief that she's been put through and how far it has pushed her. And in the end, it does seem like possibly she doesn't carry through with it. There's a lot of been misinterpretations about the end of this movie. People really don't know what happened at the end of it, but I think she finally caved in and realized what she was doing. Gives her no excuse for all the other crimes. But yeah, with her, Philippa Brothers, I think they maybe need a writer. I think they need a higher writer. I think they're amazing directors. Their stories, like I said, I think they're really exceptionally directed. I think the writing could just go up one notch, and they've written both of their films so far. So we'll see. That's my recommendation when it comes to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think really similar movies to me with Bring Her Back and with Woman in the Yard. I loved both of those. They were both really heavy, both dealing with like really serious subject matter. I thought they were both really effective, and I have them both at 4 stars. They're like right outside. Literally, they are the next 2 movies behind this. I also, nobody else liked Wolfman. I like that movie. Fight me. I don't. I liked it.
I ain't gonna fight you.
Yeah. I found that to be a really serious, again, pretty upsetting, kind of pushing the limit story. All 3 of those are kind of in the same vein there. So liked all 3 of those movies. But yeah, Bring Her Back was awesome, and like those guys are so young. And even if they do keep writing, they can probably. I think Bring Her Back was a slight improvement from Talk to Me. So like maybe they'll get a little bit better. I thought what was happening could have been fleshed out a little bit more, but sometimes with like stuff like that, it's kind of cool to not really know. You don't really need to know like exactly what's going on. She's just in some fucked up shit, and like, I liked what you said. I mean, it's really hard. I like seeing characters that are like truly despicable, like, but actually getting close to them and like just being in that uncomfortable space. I mean, that's what Andor was, right? Like,
yes.
You can humanize anyone. Like,
does that mean they're a good person if you understand why they're doing what they're doing?
Yeah, I mean, one of the best movies I've watched in the past calendar year was Downfall, and Downfall humanizes Hitler. Like, it doesn't make you feel for him, but it shows you him just in a raw way where you see all the insecurity and the craziness and, the Parkinson's that he was like, everything he was dealing with, and you see him completely falling apart. And like, it's not about empathizing, but it's about like just being able to get close to someone that is terrible without making excuses or getting any sympathy. I think that's really difficult. But Bring Her Back. I mean, she's not Hitler, but she was still terrible. So I think, and Sally Hawkins, like, if I was rating my performances of the year, she's very high.
Up there for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess it's your number 7 now.
Yeah, I think at 7 I would go Ballad of Wallace Island.
I'll say that's my number. That's my number 5.
Yeah, it's such a wholesome movie, and I feel like I tend to like sometimes gravitate towards like heavier stuff or like and there's been a lot of pretty heavy movies this year. I think we're in a heavy time, and I think you see heavy art from that, but just really wholesome. Felt very real. Again, similar to where like with Friendship, where like the humor, obviously a very different style of humor, but humor was really effective for me, very like free flowing and natural. And I liked that Carey Mulligan, was coming into this story that these guys already had. They had already made this as a short, and like she was a perfect like complementary piece. I mean, she's obviously the most talented actor involved in it, but like she just was. It was just enough of her. Loved the dynamic there. Loved the ending and the fact they didn't try to shoehorn some
like any
happy.
emotional thing with her, like
It
she
was
had
just
her
real.
time. Yeah,
It was just real, and like even they even made her husband or boyfriend or whatever like shitty, but they just kind of left it that way. It's like, yeah, she ended up with someone who that's what he's like, but that's life. Like, yeah, I just think it was a great movie, and I would encourage people to watch it if you have not. Kind of flew under the radar a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of best performances, Tim Key in that movie, stand out, man.
Yeah.
Just is a gravitating force. Just you're
Really
just waiting
good
for the next
comedy.
time he's on screen. Yeah, it was cool seeing him in Mickey 17. I told you about that. He was the guy in like the pigeon costume in Mickey 17 randomly.
Yeah, no, that was funny. I remember that.
All right, my number 7, Freaky Tales.
Nice.
Really enjoyed it. Lionsgate, unfortunately, I'm glad they tried to distribute this. I'm glad somebody picked it up, but they absolutely dropped the ball with this one. This is an anthology. What would you call this? The story structure?
It's
Anthology.
anthology, yeah. Just like separate stories.
Separate stories that interconnect somewhat throughout, and there's
Like
four
the
different
Predator, Killers was the same thing.
exactly. And I mean, the first movie that came to my mind was automatically, Pulp Fiction, which I think a lot of people have made the comparison with. But yeah, set in the 1980s. I think there's just there's like a tiny little sci-fi element that grows over the course of every single chapter. And speaking of like Tarantino influences, I mean, the last one's straight out of Kill Bill. It's awesome. It's really fucking cool. Ben Mendelsohn is vile in it, as he is in Andor, and he's really good at it. But he's playing like a more like American Southern creep, which is a little bit it's different. It's still a villain role for him. It's different. Pedro Pascal. This is probably his most diverse performance I've seen from him in quite some time.
Yeah.
I thought he was great. But yeah, Normani's in it. I mean, Dominic Thorne, who is in Ironheart right now. I didn't even realize that was her when I watched this. She's incredible. Jay Ellis, he was one of the our guy Sean Modern Mythos talked about this, but he was one of like the background guys in Top Gun Maverick. I mean, we're talking about Joseph Kosinski today.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see him have a leading role. But it's really fun, really feels like fresh and also old school at the same time. And that's kind of what movies need now, in my opinion.
Yeah, and like capturing a really specific time in Oakland, and like, I thought it was interesting, and the neo-Nazi stuff, and it was kind of like looking at like the way the punk scene and like the neo-Nazi, the way those movements kind of intertwined, and the way that neo-Nazis went after the punk scene is like not often really talked about, but a lot of the like anti-fascists, there were like a group of skinheads that were not Nazis. They were like anti-fascists, and they kind of went against that. Like they were all born out of that kind of scene, and like a reaction to the way that those guys went after them. So I think like seeing that was something you don't see often in film. I liked it, and I liked the way they tied the stories together. I thought it was really cool. So good movie.
Also, randomest. I won't spoil it if anybody's interested. The most random cameo. You can guess 150 actors that would be in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's a very famous actor, and he just pops up. Or it's a dude, but you still wouldn't be able to guess it.
It's a good cameo, too.
Yeah. All right. You're number 6, my friend.
I may have... If I was going to redo this, it wouldn't probably be exactly the same, but I would put Elio here. I loved Elio. I think it's almost perfect. I love Pixar, and I think like this movie has everything I want out of a Pixar movie. I liked seeing a kid that felt kind of fresh. I mean, I think Elio feels like a kid that's maybe on the spectrum, or like at least has some type of like maybe like an anxiety disorder. He's very like hyperactive at the beginning of this, and it's almost like going through this experience kind of like calms him down, and like he also, I mean, he has this like hyper fixation on space. Like it's all he thinks about. It's his entire personality. It's everything that he's constantly doing. I just think like, you know, showing this kid who has this like hyperfixation, that's his way of like escaping how terrible his reality is and how sad and alone he is. I think that was really cool. And I really liked the stuff with I'm gonna forget the dumbass fucking worm's name.
Glorden.
Yes, you nailed it.
It's not Gordon. It's Gla. There's a
Glorden. Yeah. The stuff with him and his dad, I thought was really good. Kind of another case of like a humanized villain. Just like obviously he's shitty, but you know
how it played out. Like it didn't go the way I was expecting, which is cool.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm kind of spoiling a little bit, but like, I hope realistically, I mean, the movie's not super likely to succeed. I still think there's a way it can. But it depends how long they actually let it sit in the theaters. But it is good. And if you haven't watched it, I would say go watch it. Even if you're, you know, I went with my girlfriend and we loved it. So I would say watch it.
Nice. Yeah, hopefully. We'll see. There's not necessarily, because, you know, I pay attention to box office and stuff. There's not necessarily another children's movie coming out, which could help it, but there's a lot of family movies coming out, like Jurassic World and Superman, Fantastic Four. So we'll see how it does. I'm rooting for it. Number 6, you're going to be surprised. I will talk about later because it is F1.
Damn. Okay.
And hey, let me tell you why, which might be a little bit different. I'll get into it when we talk about it. I grew up watching racing, and I have not watched it in some time. So watching that movie again felt like I was a child, literally, and that was a cool feeling.
Yeah.
And that's all I'll say. And then my number 5 was The Ballad Wall of Silence. So I guess you can give your number 5 real quick, or not real quick, but I don't have to talk about Ballad because we already talked about it.
At 5, I think I would put Sinners. I think I'd put Sinners here.
I'll just say it. It's my number 1.
Really?
Yep.
Damn.
Doesn't really come close, to be completely honest. It is. I haven't given anything 5 stars this year. That is really fucking close. The more I listen to that fucking score and the more I listen to every single song on that soundtrack, I'm a big music guy. I'm like, damn, this is good.
It's a special movie. I've watched it two or three. I think just twice. I'd like to watch it again at home and try to pick some more stuff out. I think like I'm trying to think. Like I think there was a little bit of clunkiness with the writing at certain points for me, and like the storytelling. But like I loved, and I think it's such an interesting movie because I think everyone kind of wanted something different out of it. I loved all the like setup, like the first like hour and a half of just seeing like the people and like the community, the town. Like I loved the way everyone kind of like came together to help them establish the spot in the first place. Like, I feel like the movie really drove home the point of like how it took that much work to like be able to have like a black-owned business even succeed or like exist, and you're having to buy a fucking piece of property from the Klan. Like it's just crazy shit. Where like, you know, it might not seem like a huge stakes, but it's everything, right? Like it's just like people all supporting each other and like being able to make something in a space that doesn't want you to make anything. I thought it was really nice. But yeah, it's a great movie, and I think it was a great moment for Michael B. Jordan too. Like I think he is a really good actor. I think he doesn't always have the right roles, but I think he's definitely figuring it out, and I'm excited to see kind of what he does next. I hope they leave it alone with this movie. I think that's what Coogler wants to do, and it's his baby. I think that it should be whatever he wants to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think they will leave it alone. I mean, I'm happy that Coogler. I feel like Coogler, even though it's so personal to him, I love that he didn't really know how big it was going to be. He's like, "Damn, guys, thanks." I mean, it's a great film, but
Yeah.
I think even he, in the back of his mind, was like, "It's an original film. It's horror. It's rated R.
Yep.
Unfortunately, internationally, Black stories, as we talked about, don't do well. But he didn't really even
very,
need that.
Very American story too. Like,
Yeah,
it's not
as well. Yes.
Yeah.
And something you saying that reminded me, something I do love about that first portion is it feels so authentic to, I think it takes place in the 1920s, I believe. It feels so authentic to that time, but still every single character, like every single performance, they feel so much like ripped out of like a not a comic book, but they feel so like established in this world, and it's like you feel like you're watching a movie, if that makes sense. Like Smoke and Stack, these
very
twins,
like cinematic characters. Yeah.
yes, and in a very real feeling world, which is super cool.
Yeah, it's special, and like probably I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of discourse on like TikTok and stuff about it. A lot of it's fun. Occasionally, it's fucking stupid and frustrating. Sinners was the most united, positive energy I've maybe ever seen behind a movie.
Even people who are racists, who are downing Ironheart, review bombing it, I love that they had to fucking watch Sinners and be like, "Dang, it was pretty good."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
fuck you, dude.
There was a couple like people looking for attention about the movie, but otherwise, it was just such a positive moment for everyone, which was
so
really
cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So cool. All right, I think you're on your number 4 because I was gonna skip mine. My 5 was The Ballad of Wallace Island.
4. This is hard. I'm gonna go with a movie from Spain called Fury. It's by a woman named Gemma Blasco. This is another thing I saw at South by Southwest. Pretty much a movie about sexual assault. You're following this woman named Alex. Basically, this kind of takes place within like her really close friend group. Like you kind of are following her in her life. She's an actress. You kind of see how it goes down. Doesn't like show you, you kind of like you're there when it happens. Doesn't like show you anything really, but it really walks you through her life and like how it affects her. This is very similar to another movie that I'm going to talk about, but at the same time, not at all. It's very much. There's no comedy to this. There's no humor to it. It's very drab, and you feel like you're going down the path of like a like rape revenge story, and it's really subversive in a way, and it shows you, I think, how every single person is different. Every single person is looking for closure or vengeance or whatever in a different way, and it's up to that person to decide what they need and want. But you also see how the people around someone will react and how they can end up having to manage that. It's just like it's a really difficult movie, but I thought it was nearly perfect. Pretty much nobody has seen it yet. I don't know if it actually got acquired or anything, but it's called Fury. It's out of Spain, and it's saw it at South by Southwest. So, and it's much better than Fury with Brad Pitt.
I was gonna say it's spelled the same.
Yeah, Fury.
But that's David Ayer, right?
Yeah. So it released theatrically in Spain. So I'm not sure if there's a plan for a release in the U.S.
Looks like I'm going on a trip then.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my
just for you, Dan. Your recommendation.
Little quick trip.
All right, my number 4. We talked about it. Yeah, we briefly discussed it earlier. It is Life of Chuck. Yeah. This was probably one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I'm a big Mike Flanagan guy, and I think that this movie is very uniquely told for anybody who hasn't watched it yet, because I don't think it did necessarily too well in the box office, because I think it was really hard to market this movie without necessarily giving away the story structure. And really, what's it about? It's just about a man's life. How do you market that to people and people actually get to come out and see it? It's tough. But they market it with Stephen King, Mike Flanagan. Let's try that. It was funny. I remember the trailer being like from the heart and soul of Mike Flanagan. I'm like, all right, calm down. But yeah, I think it's this. It kind of stars Tom Hiddleston, but it stars a huge cast of characters. Three different guys play. Four different guys, I guess, technically play Chuck. One that stood out to me was Benjamin Pajak, the youngest one to play Chuck. I thought he was fantastic. I honestly thought that was Jacob Tremblay, and then Jacob Tremblay just like grew up, but nope, it was a different guy, a different kid. Great actor. But Nick Offerman's the narrator, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Karen Gillan, Mark Hamill, tons of huge people. Davis Delmelchian pops up for a second. Matthew Lillard. It just
they were all fucking great too. Every single person that had a role.
Yes.
Was wonderful.
David Desmelchior was really funny.
Yeah.
His little part in it. But I love how much time, like canonically, each story takes, because it shows you that the stuff you remember in the end can just be one afternoon, or it can be like an entire childhood. Like you never really know what part of your life is going to stand out to you. And I think that is why you just should keep living, because you don't know what surprises are in store. Simple as enough. Simple as that. I think it was beautiful, especially the first act. That doesn't even really star Tom Hiddleston. It's mostly Karen Gillan and Chiwetel Ejiofor's story. Really beautiful, especially when you finally realize what is happening. Also, really powerful and large scale feeling movie on like a minuscule budget. I feel like they were able to do a lot of creative things to make you feel like this is larger than what it actually was. But yeah, I'm glad that this was getting some good hype for a while, and now it's eventually probably going to stream on Hulu. I think is where Neon movies stream. But
yeah, and like you said, I think it is hard to stream, or it is hard to market, which is a shame,
Yes.
man, because like, and again, is this something that I could ever really see being commercially that viable? Maybe probably not, unless you could come up with the right angle. I also think from like how I saw it marketed, that first act is like some of the best. I mean, it's really heavy existential dread, and I think given the state of the world, like opening with that was really gripping and like powerful. I think kind of playing on like how a lot of people are feeling, and it just kind of, I think that helped it really grab a hold of me, and then just doesn't really stop. And I think the ending is one of the best endings of the year. I gave it 5 stars. I mean, like we talked about, it would be on my list. It will be on my list at the end of the year, but it is really good. I loved it.
All right, number 3.
My number 3 is a movie called Bunny. It's directed by a guy named Ben Jacobson. Ben also stars in the movie with Mo Stark. They made this in like a walk-up apartment in New York City, and it was like 120 degrees, basically with their friends. And it's like this amazing sort of Safdie, Scorsese, New York City movie. Kind of a really funny crime thriller. There's a dead body. There's like a party being planned. There's cops outside, and kind of treats this apartment building like a living, breathing thing with all these people, and you feel like you kind of get to know a lot of them as they come and go. I think it's a really, really, really special movie that everyone would love, but I don't know that anyone's going to get to see it.
Yeah, I looked it up. No distribution as far as I can tell.
Which, when I tell you how good, like, truly there's no one I wouldn't recommend it to. And this actually might, I think I have the contact information for Ben. I might try to reach out to him and see if anything's moved at all, but it's so fucking good. Yeah, that's my number 3.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Number 3 is a film you might have heard of. It's called 28 Years Later.
No.
Tell you what, man. One of the most divisive movies that's come out in a long time. Either a lot of people didn't dig it, or people really dug it. And I'm happy that I was on the side that liked it. Understand critiques against it. Honestly do. I thought that It's like the one movie I've only watched it once. I immediately wanted to rewatch it because as it goes on, it becomes something entirely different. And I
Yeah.
think going into it with that knowledge would be an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like Danny Boyle's editing. I dug it. I really like it when people are inventive with techniques of filmmaking, and I think it worked. To just go bold, don't make the one thing. It wasn't boring, and it swung. Worked for some people, worked for didn't. But I'm excited to see Nita Costa's next installment. I've been watching the box office like crazy. It's doing okay numbers, so we'll see if they greenlight that
I think
third
it's
movie and we
70%
actually
drop.
get to see. Oh gosh! Oh yeah, the numbers came out today, huh?
Yeah.
Darn! I was at work. Oh no! Well, I saw that it made
I don't think it matters though, because they're like the second movie's already made, correct? So like the question is the third movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did it domestic weekend? Fuck, 70%. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, wah. Well,
Which,
the
like
first
I
two
always
movies.
tell you, doesn't mean anything. Like it doesn't mean anything about the quality of the movie. Like it just
Oh, I know.
it's
It means if I'm going to get a third movie, it does mean a lot.
yeah, but in terms of how anyone feels about it, doesn't change like how good it is to you or anything like that. So,
No. I've just been paying attention because I want a third one.
yeah. Yeah,
It'll
we'll see
just
how
be a
next
bummer
one
if they're
goes.
like, dude, we've got 3 movies in mind, can't wait. And they're like, actually, just 2. And the thing is, they like you said, they can't do the whole like whole thing where a season ends prematurely and they kind of just like try to wrap it up. Then no, they've already filmed the second one, hoping that they were going to get a third one, and it just might never come.
Yeah, we'll see. And it's not like they spent $60 million to make it. It's not like they spent $200 million. So we'll see.
All right, your number 2, my friend.
Yeah, my number 2 is Warfare.
Dude.
So is yours?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, this one where I just like don't care what anyone has to say about it. Like, that's not what I shouldn't say that. I think like I understand people's concerns about this movie, and like I had the same concerns going in. The movie I felt like I saw was not the movie I thought I was going to see. I thought it was really powerful and effective. And yeah, it really worked for me. The propaganda claims I don't understand, and I'm the first person to call that shit what it is, I feel like. So I was a bit confused at some of the reactions, but I loved it. So that's my number 2.
All right. My number 2 is also Warfare. I don't know. It's just one of the most unique theater experiences I've ever had.
Yeah.
Just kind of puts you, it makes you really hold your breath for a straight 90 minutes. It felt like an experiment, but it felt like an experience at the same time. It was effective. Like I said, it doesn't paint these people in a good light at all. I love that they include the family, that they've broken into their home. It's a very integral part of the entire movie. I mean, it's the last thing you see. And I think that Ray Mendoza and Alex Garland knew that. And I completely agree. I think that it was very effective in what it was trying to do. We'll see if, the Elden Ring is the exact same.
The thing is, too, I don't even know that it matters if they knew it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I think, like,
it happened. Yeah.
Once something is put out in the world, like, however people read that is how they read it. And, like, I was just talking to Chuck, actually, about The Shrouds, which is Cronenberg's movie this year, which a lot of people rightfully, and I totally get it, read as super fucking offensive and gross and, like, didn't understand it. And, like, I watched that movie and I thought it was satire. And I thought it was mocking. Did you watch the movie?
No, but I know it deals a lot with cancer, and I had seen people that had cancer and were offended by it.
Yeah, which I totally get, but I read it as like making a complete fucking mockery of the main character, and despite the fact that the main character is a stand-in for Cronenberg, I still read it as like a crucifixion of him and like his viewpoint and how silly it was. So like I enjoyed it because I didn't think it was saying anything he did was good or right. But someone else can watch it and say, this is fucking gross. And I would agree. And it doesn't, but at that point, it doesn't matter what Cronenberg thought when he made it, right? It's like, how do we feel about it?
Interpret it. Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone's life experience is going to be different. So I guess that's how people thought this movie was maybe propaganda.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
but we already know.
I understand the concerns. Like, I get it. I understand. Like, I don't. There was no value in either of those wars. Like, so many fucking people died for no reason. I get it. I just think this movie was emblematic of that pointlessness. That's what the movie was to me. So.
Yep. All right. We already know what my number one was. Sinners. What is your number one? I mean, I know you rated Friendship high, but we were not counting Friendship. Hold on. You're smiling at me. Damn, I don't know.
I just watched it.
Oh, it's fucking. Sorry, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
The movie's just really fucking good.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm not going to really say much about it. It's a dark comedy about like sexual assault, and it was written and directed by Ava Victor. She stars in it. She was sitting around during COVID and just decided she was going to write a fucking movie. She had been a comedian and somehow made this. So Naomi Aki's in it, and Lucas
distributed by A24.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just it's challenging. Some people might be rubbed the wrong way by some of it, I think. Which again, I get it, but it's a dark comedy, and it feels like a really personal story for her. More so kind of aimed at like it is very personal and looks at the way like a friendship can help you through that stuff, but also like how it affects your professional life, because the assault is tied into like her school and the guy that was working as her advisor. So you're kind of looking at how it affects things in like a university setting and also like then professionally, and it's just really, really good. So that's where I'm at now.
I'm trying to look up when it's coming out next to me. Or damn, it doesn't. You said like a month, so let's see here.
I think July 26th or 7th. I think
July 25th. Yep, and only one theater near me. That's a bummer. But yeah, I'll go there.
One I would say seek it out, like for sure.
All right, rapid fire. 5 underrated movies of the year, and then we'll get into F1.
5 underrated movies of the year.
Don't have to be perfect. 2.5, 3, 3.5.
Can you go first?
Sure, but I'll leave one because I have a cool segue into F1.
Okay.
So I'll do 5. I really liked Dangerous Animals. I thought it was really a fucking funny, goofy idea to have a serial killer who feeds people to sharks. And dude, it's so funny. I don't want to spoil it, but he like rants off random shark facts while he's doing it because he's just so obsessed with these things. And people are just like, can you like stop? It's very funny. Jai Courtney, guy who plays like, only thing I know him from is like Captain Boomerang or like the Suicide Squad. He's electric in it. Really surprised me. One of Them Days with Keke Palmer and SZA. I don't like comedies. Thought it was genuinely funny. I think Keke Palmer is one of the funniest people on the planet. And I thought SZA did an absolutely phenomenal job for her first time acting. Did you get to watch this one? Damn. Okay. Me and my wife are big SZA fans. I have a record of hers back there. So kind of why we checked that out as soon as we could. Underrated, I'll go Love Me. We've talked about it on the pod, but the buoy and the satellite love story between Kristen Stewart, Kristen Stewart and Stephen Yeun. A lot better performance from Stephen Yeun in that than Mickey 17. So inventive. Really enjoyed it. Let's go to we got one more, and then I'll save my other one for last. I'll go Dogman. I thought Dogman is a very cool story for children. It's the animated movie from DreamWorks that was adapted from the very popular children's series of books. I don't know. I just think that I believe the whole idea of Dogman is that it is based off of someone who has ADHD, and they know that the author knows that he's writing the movie for children who have ADHD. It makes it entertaining to them, which is I think why they do so well. And I said for my review, there's literally a child in the movie that used the power of ADHD. It's like a vehicle to save the day. And I said I think it's really cool for someone who may have been told that they don't behave well or something, that something's wrong with them, to see a character on the screen doing that is so important to a young kid. So I think it's really unique story that this man has created. I can't remember the author's name right now off the top of my head, but yeah, not bad. January release, I think, too, which is not too bad for a January release.
Nice. Yeah. Underrated stuff. I feel like Drop was a very goofy movie. I thought it was fun. I think for like a streaming movie, if you want to like throw something on, a little like fun, goofy, Hitchcock light thriller, I thought it was a fun time. Didn't take itself too seriously. I thought Clown in the Cornfield was also kind of in the same boat. I enjoyed it for what it was. Another horror movie that's really small, Marshmallow. That good amount of people were talking about. I like that.
I remember Chuck talking about that.
It's fun, and it's like really low budget, sort of science fiction-y. I thought it was good. There's a movie called Life Hack. It's one of those screen. What do they call it? Screen Life, where they have like you're looking at it through like a Skype call, a Zoom call, or something. It's called Life Hack.
I have no idea.
It's got. Do you know the movie? Like where everyone's on like a video call and they're like, there's like a murderer and they're trying to like.
What is that called? Damn.
It's like that.
I can't remember the name of it.
It's kind of about like a heist.
Okay.
They're basically like stealing from like some super rich guy, and it's kind of what happens after that. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I would say Woman in the Yard. Like, movie has like a 2.2 on Letterboxd or something. Like, I just don't understand.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, I have to tell you about my last movie. It is a movie that I don't know if you would ever watch it, to be honest. You watch a very large variety of movies, but it's a movie I know you won't watch and haven't watched. And the reason why, it is a Netflix original that just came out. And I'm going to tell you why it is a beautiful segue into F1. The movie is called K-Pop Demon Hunters.
I've heard about this.
You have?
Yeah.
So the reason why I watched K-Pop Demon Hunters was there's two reasons. One is it's a Sony animated movie, which I watched this absolutely fascinating video about Sony animation. And basically Sony animation was created after Shrek came out in 2001. Shrek was doing really well, and Monsters Inc. And Sony made their animation studio in 2002, and they're like, dude, we got to get on this. But the thing that's beautiful, that's different than DreamWorks, and it's different than Pixar, I would say, is they haven't been really successful. So because of that, they keep on switching things up. They're like, we don't have anything that works,
Find a formula.
so we just throw tons of ideas out there. Exactly. So, I mean, the two most popular movies that we've gotten from them in the last couple of years that people have praised is, of course, or three movies, is the two Spider-Verse movies, and then also Mitchells and the Machines, which is also a Netflix film that people really enjoyed. But the other reason why I watched this movie, Dan, is because I don't know why I do this, but I've always been obsessed with charts. And I don't know why. Like, I look at the box office, but one thing I've always looked at too is like the worldwide top 100 charts on Spotify. Like, I'm just curious, like, what is the most popular song in the world right now? Don't know why I've always done that. Sometimes I don't like the song. I looked through the top 50 one day, 3 days ago, and there were 7 songs from this fucking movie on there. And the world, Dan. And I was like, all right, I got to turn this on. And here's the thing. Here's my segue from this to F1. I don't listen to K-pop music. Don't listen to it. I'm like, not really my thing. I'm breaking it to you right now. Breaking news on Goodwill Podcasting. The songs in this movie, Dan, are really fucking good. I can't stop listening to them. They're like very, very good. And I looked it up for you because I thought you would find this super interesting. But how they came up with this idea was the directors, they were just thinking about like their Korean ancestry. And let me see what they said here. It's like early Korean shamans. What they used to do is they used to dance and they used to sing. And they thought about that being like the first concerts that maybe anybody ever saw was from these shamans. And then they thought about that, like how would that translate to modern day? And they thought there was like this mystical power that was brought on by them doing this. And that's how, like, literally there's now, what is Korean music nowadays? It's K-pop music. And they're just like, these girls have fucking power when they perform in their concert. And that's how this whole idea came to be.
That's
Anyways, yeah, it's the story is a little bit underbaked at times, but I think the animation's great. The songs are very, very good. I'm gonna post a video about it tomorrow, talking about our podcast episode, because I think what we're seeing right now is something super cool when it comes to cinema. With this, and then also F1, you have the narrative of, I never listened to K-pop music. I don't like K-pop music, but I'm enjoying this film.
Yeah.
The same thing happens with Formula One, with F1. These are two international cultures that people in the United States don't pay attention to, don't follow, but somehow through the power of cinema, they're connecting with it. I think that's super cool. Like I said, I grew up watching racing, but it was NASCAR. That's what I grew up watching, was NASCAR. I never watched Formula One. Now I do go to dirt tracks sometimes. There's this huge dirt track in the middle of Ohio that like thousands and thousands of people go to. It's the redneckest thing you'll ever see in the world. My wife went last year. I asked her if she wanted to go this year. She said, no, I'm good. Don't really know if she enjoyed herself. I hope she did. Thought that would be cool to bring a Bahamian to, something she's maybe never seen before. Definitely never seen before. But yeah, F1, I think what really stood out to me, this movie is not new. The story is the most formulaic thing you could possibly think of,
No
which is, yeah, that's pretty good. No pun intended, but I should have. That would have been good. But what really had to work was the racing, and it's not only the racing and the filmmaking behind the racing. I think they did an excellent job, and where the script shines is every single race they have, which in this is maybe 5 or 6 races, is they have a new dilemma, a new story within the race that is playing out. And it's very different each time, but you feel like you are along for the ride and watching this play out. And they build a beautiful tension each and every race. And now, talking about my nostalgia, I'm a really geek with the whole, dude, they almost got a flat tire. How long can they run on these tires? Is he gonna blow it? Like that personally, that is my racing childhood coming out and be like, oh shit, he's gonna blow it. Dude, he's not pitting, he's staying out there. That gets my blood going, man.
Yeah.
And we talked about it before. I was texting you guys when I watched this because I went to a fan screening. Dude, this movie's doing really good financially. It's like, I think it's the biggest movie that Apple's ever had, and then also one of the biggest original films since COVID. It was so cool to be in a packed theater. Everyone was very very polite, and nobody was necessarily on their phones too much. And there's a lot of racing fans there, and I think they really enjoyed the movie. But it is formulaic, and I want to ask you, because I know that you have some issues with it, which we'll get into. Why do you think Top Gun Maverick, obviously this movie is from Joseph Kosinski, and this is his follow-up to Maverick. Why do you think the story in Maverick works a little bit better than it does here? Because people have compared this to, dude, this is just Top Gun Maverick on wheels, but it's not. I think we feel more connection to his previous film, and I'm curious why you think that is. Is it just because of the original Top Gun, you think?
I think for a variety of reasons. I think one of them is like Top Gun Maverick was just, it was mining nostalgia. And like this movie is kind of doing the same thing with Brad Pitt, but also giving you just a story that feels nostalgic, that feels like it's from the 90s. I get that. I think Brad Pitt feels like he's doing a very like I don't know, like Paul Newman type thing here, like, but I think like Top Gun Maverick just had such a strong base with the first movie, and there were emotional bits built into the film, like obviously with the death of Goose, coming back to his son. There's a lot you can play off there. You had the real life health situation of Val Kilmer, which was beautifully written into the movie. I thought that was really effective. I've talked about it a lot. I watched Top Gun Maverick as a movie where he is dead. Like that. That's how I watched the movie. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it's makes the movie a lot more interesting, and I that's just how I
Wait,
felt.
you've talked about this? You think that Maverick is
He
dead?
dies at the start of the movie. That's kind of this is like Joseph Kosinski literally came out and said this is not the case. But when I first watched it, I was like, I feel like he died because he's going, I don't know, 8,000 miles an hour or something, and his plane like he's dead. Like, and it just literally like it goes from the test to him just strolling through the desert into some, diner, and he goes, where am I? And the person goes like Earth. Like it's the way everything is just so perfect, and he like resolves all these like this kind of trauma from his life through Goose's son, and he finds this romance, and he flies off into the sunset, and like the mission is so nondescript, and it's like, what country is this? I don't know. And it's just like this undoable thing. It all is very contrived, which you could call bad writing, but I'm like, no, he's fucking dead. This is just his brain in his dream, just like concocting something.
How long ago did you make a video about this?
It wasn't too long ago. Probably.
I don't know where I was, man, but that's a very interesting theory. You thought that from the very beginning, the first time you watched it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Because I mean, and again, you're not looking for like realism, but like, dude, he is dead. There's no ejecting, going a speed no one's gone before. You're dust. So
yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, it's just the nostalgia and like an inherently really cool concept. Like we all growing up, we like jets, we like all that shit. So
I'll say something that's interesting is it looks like that F1 only had one rider, and it was Aaron Kruger. Aaron is spelled Ehren. I think that's how you pronounce it. Is Aaron? Never seen it spelled that way before. Pretty unique. But then also, so F1 was just written by him. He was also a writer on Top Gun Maverick. So I'm like, okay, was he the only writer on Top Gun Maverick? No, one was Eric Warren Singer, which he also wrote Only the Brave, which I heard is really solid from Joseph Kosinski. But then, and this is what I forgot, it was also written by Christopher McQuarrie. Yeah. And there's a lot of people who think that Christopher McQuarrie did a lot more on that movie than is let on, that he kind of maybe directed some of it, because we know what he has done before in his relationship with Tom Cruise. So maybe he had a lot more say, and that's what's missing here in F1.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. A lot of people are liking this movie, and a lot of people are going to like this movie. Some people I've seen calling it this like one of the movies of the year. I think the stuff I look for in movies doesn't necessarily line up with this, but not everyone looks for the same things. So like, this is going to be really popular. I said this is going to crush internationally, and it's already made almost $100 million internationally.
That was a real take, man. Real take.
I've heard a lot of people, a lot of big F1 fans have complained about it because I think the problem when you make something like this is there's so much exposition. It's so much spoon feeding the audience what's happening and the little, minute details of F1. And I think for like Grizzled fans, that might be like, yeah, no shit. Like, okay, like they're changing their tire. Like, okay, like, because it uses the announcer for each race to like exposition the entire movie.
Like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, but
isn't that kind of what announcers do? I guess that's what they do in the NFL. Is they're like
detail, like.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's like just about the.
I didn't watch Formula One, so I was like, I totally get that perspective. Like we've talked about, like I get people's perspective when it comes to certain movies. With me, I was like, I want to know more. Oh, that's happening right now.
Yeah, and I think for someone who's not like uninitiated, like it's definitely appreciated. Um, but the balance of making something like this is always, I think, like pleasing the diehard fans and being like, okay, this is realistic, and you know, not breaking their immersion, and then also not breaking the immersion of people that are like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. So,
All right, let's talk about kind of like two big stories when it comes to this. Two things that stand out. One is I think we both agree Brad Pitt is not good in this movie.
no.
I get why he's cast. If you write the character and what the character is supposed to be on paper, this old chiseled veteran who's supposed to be fucking cool. There's a lot of people who are like, man, this guy's badass. And it's like
Everyone.
that's kind of what exactly. And that's like what Brad Pitt's been forever. And that's how he's been looked at in Hollywood. But it is everything that is not him just driving and just trying to look cool and jogging up a mountain with a bunch of his crewmates. Every emotional moment is not it. He can't nail it. So luckily, there's not too many of those, but boy, are they rough to look at. There's this one scene where he like pushes Jameson Idris like against a wall, and he's like trying to be all does not work.
No, and like I just thought the writing of those characters was just so flat and so stereotypical. Like, just give me more. Like, do I really need this like old handsome guy who just knows everything and is always right and just tells everyone what to do and is always like just. And then Damson Idris is just like this young, angry, cocky hothead. Like that's what you came up with. How long did you think about that? Like, and the problem with it, like the and again, I think this movie is fine. I enjoyed the experience of watching it. I gave it a 3.5. Then I dropped it down to a 3. The more I thought about it, I was just like, this is good. The racing is great. I agree with what you said. Where like I found most of the races themselves engaging, but you have character development. You have the relationship develop, and then you have the accident, which is JP Damson Idris's character's JP, which is his fault. Everyone knows it's his fault. And he's developed so much, then he just regresses. And he's just like, I'm going to be angry at him again. And it's like, what? Why? Like, why are you angry at him? And then he just stays that way so that there can be conflict. And he doesn't, like... And it feels so forced. It's like there's this forced regression when, like, they were just getting to an interesting place.
Yeah,
and I feel like if
because they didn't know they don't know what more to do with the stories. They had to like backtrack. Like, let's do this again.
And I feel like if he stayed positive, maybe it was just him rehabbing, but like he took accountability for what happened because it was his fault, and you've seen the character growth. Like, then he's a more interesting character. But he's still then you just make him like, no, he's a dumb asshole again. Like, why? And just little stuff like Carrie Condon's character, like, is this genius technical person, and then Brad Pitt's like, this is what you got to do, sweetie, make the car fast. Like, you're welcome. Like, he just tells her what to do, and it's like, that's her fucking job. Like, and she's like, oh, thanks, Brad Pitt. Like, you want to have a relationship? Like, it's just like, come on, man, this is so dumb. I don't know.
I think that she is the worst part of this movie, and let me explain why. So the other story about this film that you've spoken of a lot, which you should, is the fact that Simone Ashley was going to be a woman of color, was going to be a more significant part in this movie. She's big from Bridgerton fame. I don't know her. I don't watch Bridgerton, but I know that that show is massive. So there's a lot of people that wanted to come to this, and she's done the press tour, which that's the sketchy part. That's the sketchy part, is that she's done the press tour when you don't even, dude, I didn't even realize how little she's in this movie. Like, you see one shot of her, and that is there's one shot.
Yeah,
she doesn't speak. She's in.
Yeah.
Dude, she is in this movie as Simone Ashley. That's what they have it as letterbox. So I guess she was supposed to be like a famous person that was at the race in the background. Here's the thing, though. I understand why she was taken out of the movie, but I don't like that it happened. if you had both Brad Pitt and Damson Idris have love interests, that would have been too much. But I wish they would have eliminated Carrie Condon and not her. Because I think the more interesting dynamic that Brad Pitt could have been a part of was the falling out or relationship between him and Javier Bardem. I think Javier Bardem is really electric in this movie. I think he's doing a fantastic job. He plays both funny, self-serious, and also like kind of like a ritzy rich guy at the same time. He's a phenomenal actor. I think that could have been the one relationship that we carry out throughout the entire film. And maybe because Damson Idris like knows and has worked with what's his character's name, Ruben, he wants Brad Pitt and him, they don't have that crash doesn't happen. The whole backtracking of their relationship doesn't happen, but they help each other. You know, Brad Pitt is like has been a suave guy and has had many relationships in the past that haven't worked out, but he is like smooth with it. So maybe that's some way that he could have connected with Damson and like kind of helped him as a young guy in his career, but also with young love as well. Not the fact that he had done so much himself or done well for himself, but you know what I'm saying? I understand why Simone is, from my perspective, if there's two relationships with the two main actors of this movie, that would have been too much. But I totally wish Carrie Condon, even though she's a fantastic actress, I wish she wasn't in it. And I wish we could have Simone Ashley and then Javier Bardem's part would have been more.
You don't need to take Carrie Condon out of it. I thought Carrie Condon was really good in the movie. Just don't give her the, like, make her Brad Pitt to fuck off. Like, just let her be there. Like, I like that the movie is keen on showing you every aspect of the team. Like, the whole movie is about the team, right?
Yeah,
like
I agree.
The team of drivers, even with a backup, like the pit crew, the technical aspect.
That one girl in the pit crew was like a nice little thing.
You know what was weird? They gave her like a little flirty moment with Damson at the very beginning, and I almost feel like that was added in like after the fact because there's nothing else about that at all. Remember that they bump into each other and they're like haha, like looking at each other, and then there's nothing else. And it's like, did you put that in after you took out his relation? Like,
yeah.
But anyway, I like that it shows every aspect of it. Keep Carrie Condon in the movie and just make her a stronger character that just tells him to fuck off and like maintains that.
Humble him a little bit.
Yeah, and like the movie feels very aware of Brad Pitt's image, which is strange. Like it's almost meta in that, and like I don't know. I just think it would have been more interesting to flesh out Damson Idris's character with a relationship. He gets some moments with his mom, which like are fine, but like it doesn't dig that deep.
No.
And then his mom's like hitting on Brad Pitt. It's just like everyone's hitting on Brad Pitt. Like, what are we doing? Like,
bro, it's Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I mean, we know. Like, it's just, it was a weird decision, and like, it's weirder because Manny Jacinto talked about this with Maverick, and he said he went to the movie to watch it, and that's when he found out that everything with him got removed. So like, back to back from the same director, I think it's kind of strange. Just kind of how I see it, but I understand this is what happens.
No,
the movie
completely. Kaczynski's got to do a better job next time.
Yeah, or at least like try to communicate with your actors, especially like if you already saw. I mean, you already saw it happen once, right? And there was blowback. Like Manny Jacinto talked about it like at length. So I don't know, but anyway, yeah, I wish we got that for Damson, and maybe just Brad Pitt could have been more of like a figure to like give him advice or just kind of help him through that or whatever. And their dynamic should have been less contentious, I think, because it got repetitive.
Yeah, it felt like we're going around in circles, literally.
No pun
intended. Kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love racing, man. I'm excited. I was actually supposed to tell my dad and my brother tonight. I think I'm gonna go back out to. There's it's called Eldora, which is the track that I go to in Ohio. Like thousands and thousands of people out there, and it's just a lot of people are drunk. A lot of people are there, and you don't got to know anything. I went with my wife last year, and I was like, just pick out a car, and you hope they win. If they're in the back of the pack, you pick out another one.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
So, Yeah, I went almost every single year growing up. You have to wear glasses, like dirt gets kicked up in your face. Um, you're filthy, but you're having a good time, and it's loud as fuck too. But
Did you like the Hans Zimmer score?
dude, I don't know. I meant to send it to you. There is this funny clip that someone made where it is. I can't remember his character's name, but Javier Bardem's character in Dune Part Two, Stilgar. It's him. It's the point. It's the moment when him and Chani are arguing about Paul Atreides, and they're like yelling at each other back and forth in a Fremen language.
Yeah.
And someone like erased the subtitles and put underneath it like them speaking about the F1 movie and like gripes that they had with it. And it's like, we don't need a like generic romantic subplot and all this stuff. One thing they mentioned was like, it has Hans Zimmer. And then Chani butts in. She's like, yeah, with generic fucking pop songs that pop up every 5 seconds. And she's like, and he's like, true, true. I didn't like that. Mixing Hans Zimmer with pop music puts a bad taste in my mouth. Now, it did happen a little bit. I mean, he scored Top Gun Maverick, but this seemed there's way more songs in this movie than there were in Top Gun Maverick. And I can't think about the fact that there's Doja Cat music over this and also Hans Zimmer music. I'm just like, that puts a bad taste in my mouth. Like, tonally, like, what are you trying to go for? If this whole thing was scored by Hans Zimmer and there was no pop music, dude, that'd be epic. I have 2 records of his back there. I've gone to his like live show before. I love me some Hans.
Another person that popped up was Tobias Menzies. I think Menzies. Very distinct guy. He has the scar on his face. English actor. He plays like the team ownership guy in this.
Yes.
I thought he was really good. I like him as an actor.
What have I seen him in? Oh, he was in Atonement.
Did you watch the show Outlander?
No, I heard that's really good. Do you like that?
Oh yeah, it's great. But he plays like the
I think for real.
Oh, dude, Outlanders is sensational. It's my like soap opera. Yeah. But he plays the most like horrific character in that show. So really good.
Yeah, I thought he was great. I did like his like The Board and everything. There's always that with like company movies. I mean, I just rewatched The Lost World, Jurassic Park, and it was all about the board and what does the board want? We got to please the board with all these big companies. Yeah, I thought he was great. I thought he was really good. He was funny. He had some comedy too.
Yeah, he also played Edmure Tully in Game of Thrones.
That's where I knew him from.
Yeah, he's a good actor, man. He's like a theater actor. He's been around forever. He's really good.
Yeah, that's where I knew him from, Game of Thrones. Dude, it's late, and hopefully this won't put us to sleep. We should talk about M3GAN 2.0. I took Leah to this. Dude, I appreciate you. For anybody who's watching, you didn't spell it M3GAN, you did the M3GAN. Like, props to you for doing that, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
I took my wife to see this movie because she doesn't like horror films. I'm like, it's not horror anymore. You know, it's action. She's like, fine, I'll go. My wife isn't like me. She doesn't view movies like me. I watched The Lost World early today. Had a lot of things I didn't necessarily love about it. Jurassic Park is her favorite franchise of all time. She's like 5 stars out of 5 stars, man. Love it. She's not a critic. I looked at her at the end of M3GAN 2.2 or 2.0. And she's like, she didn't have any words. She's just like, okay. I told you this. I think I texted you this, but I can't believe that they made the decision when it comes to switching from horror to action to not getting an action director, an action movie director, and just sticking with the same person who did M3GAN 2.0. It makes all the action, in my opinion, not that he doesn't know how to direct action. So your action is not going to look good. Everyone is doing AI plots now. Your AI plot is nothing inventive. It convolutes itself, especially towards the end. And we don't know what the fuck it
wants to say.
No idea what it wants to say.
No idea.
all the bits. I put this in my review. All the funny bits, like the gags, were shown in the trailer mostly, but they're all recycled from the first movie. There's like she crawls on all fours. That's from the first movie. Spoiler right now, if anybody doesn't want to know what happens in M3GAN 2.0, I forgot about this one moment, but she fucking sings again in this movie, and I forgot that she sang in the first one. So when she started singing,
the movie.
yes, when she did that, yes, I liked it, right? But then when she did it, I was like, oh, they've already done this before. I forgot they already did this before. And the bitch is back and all, like, there's nothing new. There's nothing new besides a boring plot, man.
This was truly baffling. Baffling movie. I saw it with my girlfriend too. We both were struggling to stay awake. That doesn't happen to me in movies. Like I never fall asleep in movies ever. I was like fighting for my fucking life to watch this movie. And I have no idea why they did what they did. Like M3GAN is objectively funny, right? Like the funny bits of that first movie, like it opens like very much like making fun of like the people and the society and like how we're all on our phone. Like it's very much like kind of satire. And it's great. And then the first movie goes into like the most generic slasher shit. I'm just like, I don't care. And like, I'm sorry, I don't think Allison Williams is a good actor. I don't.
My wife said the same thing. My wife said the exact same thing.
And it's like in Get Out, she was so lifeless and deadpan. It was like scary, and it worked because she was like an NPC type person who just becomes like evil, but just by like flipping that switch, like. That doesn't work. Like these movies are relying on her a lot. Like this movie is not a lot of M3GAN. This movie is so much of Allison Williams. And like again, it's just so confusing to me. And both of these should have been rated R. They'd be way better. And these should have been straight up like shit post comedy movies, like ridiculous comedies. Make them as funny as possible. This movie's like self-serious with like a world destruction plot. Like, why?
I said, did it make you laugh that much besides the singing?
Dude, yeah. This movie is way less funny than the first movie. The first movie in its funny bits, I was dying laughing. Like I loved when the first movie didn't take itself too seriously. I enjoyed it. This movie, there's like almost no laughs in it.
I like the actor. I've always liked him, Jermaine Clement, who's the guy who plays Alton, that dude with the spine who like stands up. I've always really liked that actor.
He was hilarious. He was funny.
Yes, he was in the original What We Do in the Shadows, directed by Taika Waititi. And then I went through what's his name's filmography. The guy who did, he was in the Minecraft movie because he starred in a movie Jared Hess made called Gentlemen Broncos. He's a very funny individual, very funny guy. And then unfortunately, spoiler, he is only in 1/3 of this film. And I was like, well, that's a bummer.
Also,
dude, speaking of which, I'm so sorry for interrupting you.
No.
2 seconds, spoilers, we are spoiling. 2 seconds into that movie, like, oh, Allison Williams, she has this new guy she's attracted to. 2 seconds, I looked at my wife and said, that's going to be the fucking bad guy. Also, I said it right at the beginning.
Terrible, man. He was like
awful.
Asleep, like truly.
Awful acting. I don't understand.
Yeah.
And like, then the actress Jen Van Epps, Tess, like there's like two crew people like with Allison Williams that are like her buddies from the old job or whatever. It seems like they fucking forgot about her towards the end. She's just like knocked out at the end of the movie and they never wake her up and they're just like carrying her out. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I feel like she probably died. I don't know. I don't know. I will say, I have one really positive thing to say about this. Ivana Sakno, who plays Amelia, she was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I thought she was really good in this. I don't know. She was in Pacific Rim.
She's in Ahsoka.
Yeah, she was in Ahsoka. She's really cool. She's also she's a Ukrainian actor, also a big activist for Ukraine. So shout out to her. I thought she was great. She was really trying in this, which God bless her, because nobody else was. But I thought she was good.
Man, I tell you what, like she's acted a lot, but the one who plays, oh, what's her name? She says it all like, oh, Katie, which Katie is spelled Cady. Don't like that, but it's
Yeah,
fine.
she's not good.
She's not good, and she's acted a lot. She's in Thunderbolts. She's in Black Widow. I think she plays probably one of the the younger versions of the sisters. She's in Doctor Sleep. She was like only 5 years old, thank God, in The Haunting of Hill House. So you're like, oh, she's a little kid, but she's not a good actor. she can't raise the pitch of her voice. I don't know if it's something with her or that's how she was directed, but every beat is the same pitch. And like if she's scared, if she's sad, if she's mad, I'm like, gotta give me a little bit more.
She was just in The Life of Chuck too.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing her in Life of Chuck, but there's like 25 people in that movie. So
yeah, yeah, and I'm not trying to like, I don't want to like trash a kid, but she's just not really good in this movie. Like
yeah.
It's almost like they're all kind of rubbing off on each other. Like they all have such low energy. Like in this movie, it's like they didn't want to make it, but it's just a nothing movie. Like it's a nothing movie at all.
We talked about it. Like you have to know these movies are ridiculous, and doing so means ridiculous and absurd performances that match the tone of the movie, and that's what Jermaine Clement is doing. Like he's a cartoon character, and it fits perfectly. It's great.
And I would say like that's like if say like it almost feels like you're watching an actor who thinks they're too good for the movie. Like earlier this year we saw like the Minecraft movie was fucking terrible. But Jason Momoa like knows what the fucking movie is and he's acting his ass off. Like he's trying, he knows he's making it for kids and it's gonna be goofy and like he's really putting himself into it. Like that's awesome. Like that's what actors are paid to do. They're not paid to fucking this Aristotle Authority guy as Christian. The man is asleep. The man is not performing. He's asleep.
He's so bad.
Like, and just like get the fuck out of the movie. Like, don't act. Like, if you don't want to act. Like,
I didn't know this, but I guess James Wan wrote the first film. He did not write. Did he write the first film? I think I saw it. Yeah, he wrote the story of the first film. He did not write this one. So maybe that's some extra Wan sauce that's not in this.
Yeah, I mean, the first movie it was a lot more like camp and like silly and like a lot of people really enjoyed it and had fun with it. Like this is not fun. This is a slog. Like this is almost impossible to watch.
Of course, also Akilah Cooper. It looks like is another person who was writing on the first film along with James Wan and didn't write this one. She also wrote *Malignant*. James Wan's *Malignant*. Have you ever fucking seen that movie?
I watched the first half hour.
Do you not like it? Dude, it goes off the first half hour. Oh, you've got to stick with it, man. It goes full on ridiculous, fun camp slasher at the end. It's awesome.
I'll finish it.
Okay, I'm telling you, man. And *Malignant* is a good movie. I watched that with my wife, who doesn't like horror movies, and it was a lot of blood at the end. She was like, "Man, that movie's awesome."
I wasn't really liking the characters. I was like, I don't know.
Like tonally, it goes wild. It just amps it up at the end. You could never predict what happens. Like, it's so good.
Okay.
Don't watch M3GAN 2.0. Watch *Malignant*.
Yeah.
Even though they have the same fucking rating, people are being too nice to this. They're like, "Oh my gosh."
Don't know why. Like
I don't know why.
It's because people really like the first movie, have an attachment to it. I get it. Some of it was funny. It's okay to be like, this is not it. Like, this is just... And if you really like it, cool, but like...
It's not a good action movie. I respect them for, switch genres, sure. But, like, all these people, like, go watch Ballerina.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah, you can't watch Ballerina and then watch this and be like, they're on the same level. You can't do that, in my opinion. There's no way. The story's better. The acting's better. The action's better. Everything's better. There's nothing in Ballerina that is lesser than this. It's awful.
Yeah. There's also some stuff that they just like don't talk like. They keep asking about like, how do you afford this house and blah. Like she keeps being like weird about it, and they just don't come back to that. Like stuff like that where it's just like.
it's the fact that her landlord like helped her out, and every good thing that's ever happened in their life is Megan working behind the scenes. I love that she somehow got a portrait of herself and Katie in like this bunker. I was like, how did that happen? I guess she does have a body, but I don't know. I will say it was fucking funny. Her body was just like ridiculous looking. I was like, sure, that's funny, I guess.
Yeah, disappointing though all around.
Oh, that's been the month of June, huh?
Yep.
Now, on July 1st at 12:01 in the morning, Dan, this Wednesday, I am watching Jurassic World Rebirth. Beginning of July.
1 in the morning.
They're doing midnight
midnight
showings.
screening.
Yes.
Gonna be some sleepy, bored people.
No. As bored as Megan 2.0?
Dude, no. It's a better movie.
Okay.
It's just it's a movie.
Safe.
It's a movie. Yeah.
I've heard. Well, get your dinosaur on, Dan, because that's what we're talking about next week.
I'll be dinosaured up.
I think I got a really good guest. I won't say it just now because we don't know for sure whether they can join or not, but I know they're a big fan of this franchise. Great talker, great content creator, really passionate. So we'll see if we can get them on. But me and Dan talked about it. I think what we're going to do is we're going to cover Jurassic World Rebirth, obviously, but then come out with a separate episode and just talk about the original 3, right? That's what you wanted to talk about?
Yeah.
I'm pumped, dude. I'm on to the third one. I'm pumped to rewatch the third one because I think it's going to be a lot better than I remember.
I like them all. I think all 3 of them are good. I mean, obviously Doug first, but like I think 2 and 3 are good. Yeah.
All right. So look forward to that next week. But Dan, another episode down, my friend. June, not the best. July, Superman, Fantastic Four. Gotta have something. We'll see.
I think Superman's going to be special, but could be wrong.
That's a real take right there. We'll see if it comes true. But all right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us talk about 2 different movies, very different movies. Let us know what you thought about them. Huh? Oh, yeah, and our top favorites.
Our top 10s.
Yeah, dude, we talked so long about this, but yeah, we talked about this for so long. But hey, let us know your top 10 in the comments or wherever you're listening to this. Let us know what you thought about F1. Are you a race head? Are you a Brad Pitt head? Oof. Do you like Megan 2.0? Is the bitch back? Was she really? Let us know. But hey, until next week, until we talk about some big old dinosaurs, go outside, sit on a park bench, watch some good movies, call up your friends. We'll see you then. Peace out, everybody.